We've just had a very exciting and very promising reveal of the new gameplay for Path of Exile 2, revealed to us in the developer live stream on Twitch and now on YouTube as well. Very interesting content, a lot of thoughts sparked by this, including the thought of looking at this fidelity, looking at all the details and wondering whether or not Path of Exile 2 might be Diablo 4 killer. Well, spoiler alert, I don't think it will be a killer, but I think it will be a very solid competition, depending on a whole bunch of factors that I'd like to talk to you about in this video and offer my subjective casual opinion. We will talk about also the next expansion that's coming in April to Path of Exile, which is called Ultimatum, briefly. And yes, I'll be playing it. If this is your cup of tea, if you are into ARPGs and if you are bored of World of Warcraft just like I am, please stick around. Click like button right now to show your support and let's talk about it. Alright, so Path of Exile 2 gameplay was revealed to us. A lot has changed in the game since the reveal at ExileCon last year. It looks polished, it looks modern, it looks amazingly well lit with dynamic lighting features, a lot of other kind of stuff. It's basically awesome. Does it automatically make it a Diablo 4 killer? I don't think so, but mainly due to the ecosystems. Not because of fidelity that we can take a look at side by side if you like, or switching from one to another, which I think works better than side by side, by the way. And both games, Diablo 4 is forming very promisingly in terms of graphical fidelity, quality of animations and other kind of stuff. I cannot fault either of the teams. And I think what will never allow any other game kill Diablo 4, getting rid of the obvious straight away here at the beginning, if that's the only thing you clicked this video thumbnail for. I think that the Diablo 4 or Diablo franchise in general, it is never gonna die simply because of the ecosystem and the group of people, large group of fans, community, strong community that will support this game to the grave, to their own graves, not to the game's grave. Same as World of Warcraft, same with even the stalest but most solid kind of elements of Blizzard Entertainment products that they have, ecosystem. Now, back to Path of Exile and to all the conversation that is to be had about what's been revealed to us. Okay, I really respect grinding gear games, I really respect Chris Wilson, I really respect how they talk to the community and how often they produce engaging, wonderful, really appealing content, especially, well, for those people who like ARPGs, that is. So they're clearly working on something a lot more modern, a lot of higher fidelity, something that will compete easily with Diablo 4. That is my honest opinion. If you don't think that Path of Exile, from what was revealed today when I'm recording this video in April 2021, please let me know in the comments down below, where do you think Diablo 4 is vastly better, because I am not seeing it. I think that both games can compete side by side very easily. But yes, the games are slightly different. By slightly I mean it is about bashing monsters and getting loot, and it is very similar graphically kind of arranged. Graphically it's gruesome, graphically the isometric view is very similar, all of that stuff that we already know about both games. That's why I play both. I will play both, I can tell you that much. But I love just how much they change from season to season and just how much of effort clearly is being put into formation and creation of this Path of Exile 2. I also cannot help but give grinding gear games here a huge kind of props and compliment them a lot more than I would go towards Blizzard Entertainment at this point in my gamer's life, I suppose. Is that they are a lot more open on communication with community. They're a lot more respectful of their community. They're giving a lot more information to us through these streams, through the regular content updates and through their ExileCon, which has become, in my opinion, as far as the spirit of the event is concerned, a lot better than BlizzCon. Now, what was demonstrated kind of in this particular thing? I strongly first of all encourage you to go to Path of Exile official YouTube page and just watch the whole gameplay and the stream, the reveal stream. Commentary is great. You know, I offer you my subjective, casual opinion on this channel always, and will continue doing so However, I think they've done a tremendous job. You don't need some bigger creators tell you the same stuff that I will say right now and that the Path of Exile creators have done professionally themselves. What they aim to do is make combat more brutal and more responsive in Path of Exile 2. They have been demonstrating to us new animations. They have been introducing 2 weapon classes, weapon-based classes. They were introducing the spear holding class and the crossbow class. So spear weapon class has melee and mid-range from what I have seen, from what abilities have been demonstrated, and it was all very graphically appealing as well. Please form your own opinion and again talk to me in the comments down below. I love chats about this. If I had to compare, there is no need, but if I had to compare how this spear weapon class has been demonstrated, how it appears to play, it's very similar to a demon hunter in World of Warcraft, with Fell Rush going forward and Vengeful Retreat being used, flipping backwards, kind of getting out of dodge. The Rapid Assault skill is one of the skills that was demonstrated, which is basically a shorter version of Fists of Fury. So there is a lot to like here, especially if you're a World of Warcraft player or just generally like that type of action. I like it. They talked a lot about improved animations throughout the build, so that is something I really look forward to. You know, you start sprinting, it changes to sprinting animations. We take these things for granted, but these people put so much effort into the graphical fidelity and making sure that they keep up with, without a doubt, the flagship product right now on the market, which is Diablo, and people are just looking forward to Diablo 4, except what we are also conveniently forgetting here, my dear Diablo fans, is that I'm a Diablo fan, but I'd love to play something like that, something like Diablo 4, before my son has his own kids, you know, and he's 9 right now, okay? And chances are that I'll be playing Path of Exile next year or year after maximum, probably, because the build looks pretty polished, pretty finished to me. I know there is more to it, but considering how active these people are, considering how much work goes into it clearly, this game will be ready before Diablo 4 even hits alpha. That is my prediction for you right now, you can quote me on that. Which is why, yes, the games will retain their own ecosystems and their own huge groups of communities who will always be there, sure. However, what do you think is gonna happen to all the Diablo fans and Diablo players, including myself, when Path of Exile arrives a year or 2 years or 5 years before Diablo 4? What do you think is gonna happen? And this is where it's not gonna be a killer, but it's gonna be definitely a huge draw for all of those people who are tired. We enjoy Diablo 3 seasons. I'm enjoying one right now and I'm reporting to you on it in the other videos, but I can tell you for sure that earlier, without a doubt, earlier release of Path of Exile 2 is going to lure a lot of people from Diablo community, hardcore people who just, you know, perhaps haven't moved just yet. That's what I think. Bosses that are demonstrated in this build of Path of Exile 2 look a lot more interesting than current ones in the game, or even those in Diablo for that matter, if I had to continue stretching here. I don't know, we have already seen earlier in the footage in the background the crumbling ceiling environment or those bosses with special effects. In any case, animations, general design looks vastly more interesting than what we have currently in Path of Exile, or, like I said, in Diablo. In Diablo, everything is fairly monotone. Effects are different, but performance, appearance, other kind of stuff, how we deal with those bosses, is almost a tick box. We almost run those rifts endlessly and just tick boxes of slaughtering everything in our way. We don't enjoy and stop and enjoy the beauty of it or challenging content or something. I think both Diablo 4 and Path of Exile 2 will bring that back, and part of that is going to be very engaging experience with those boss encounters, and they certainly look awesome. Now, crossbows that were demonstrated, they have, in my opinion, fairly annoying implementation of bolt skills. They will be implemented through gems. Currently, there are 3 different gems announced: armor piercing, incendiary, and permafrost. Well, you guessed what they do, and you see it in the background what they do. What I found annoying and what I asked in the comments to that video, I do not know if Grinding Gear Games people even read those things or even see my comment, but I honestly hope that they will allow us to switch off that particular voiceover line. in the settings somewhere, so that I don't have to constantly, as I play Path of Exile 2, hear armor piercing, incendiary, armor piercing, incendiary, permafrost, armor piercing. Is it annoying you yet? Well, I was annoyed because the voice of the girl was certainly a lot more pleasant than mine right now. When they showed it in the original video, you're encouraged once again to go there and watch it. But if you have to hear it all the time, every time you change ammunition, I think we will go mad, you and I. So I think that this needs to absolutely be toggleable. It needs to be switchable off. General gameplay, by the way, of Crossbow's class demonstrated didn't appeal to me personally from what I've seen. And it kind of reminds me of Diablo Demon Hunter, not World of Warcraft Demon Hunter, but Diablo Demon Hunter Natalia set feel. That's what it looks to me like, in case you're a Diablo fan, in case you know what I'm talking about. Detailed, lovely, detailed, possibly not for me, but still showing the readiness of the game. I really was pleased to see that. That was wonderful. Monsters have to be mentioned briefly. They talked about improving how packs of monsters work. There are patrols. There are a lot more interesting dynamics between those monsters, where they appear, how they chase you, how they move around the space. I think that's all wonderful. Creating a world that's more livable world, like more of a living world. Sorry, that world is not very livable, but it's a lot more living. I think is wonderful, and I think it will go a very long way. Speaking of monsters, I have to mention general detail and environments. I already talked about boss encounters with wonderful lighting and other effects, environmental effects that are happening. I think it's cool. I love to see an example of player taking quests and talking to NPCs inside of buildings, where we can see every minute detail and ornaments and furnishings and like other elements. I think it's one of the best graphic jobs that I've seen in a very long time. And yeah, I am just blown away from what's been shown. Super excited. Can't wait to play it when it comes out. And again, by my calculations, by my predictions, without turning this into some form of an uneducated timeline, I do think that it will come out way before Diablo 4, and that is why it's gonna be, if not a killer, then at least heavy competition to Diablo 4. Now finally, the new Ultimatum League, or expansion they refer to it, is coming out very soon, April 16th, and I absolutely will be playing it, rolling a new character in that season, so to speak, using the terminology of Diablo if it's more familiar to you, and going to enjoy that, because there is a lot of rework. They've done a lot of things. Again, I encourage you to watch the original review of this. I will not do a better job summarizing what they've done there, but they've reworked rewards. All of the rewards awarded from the previous boss encounters, new boss encounters have been reworked, a lot of other stuff, and obviously the new Ultimatum mechanic, where you meet this guy who essentially is offering you a trial. If you succeed in the trial, you get a reward, and you can choose to bet that reward or lose it if you go through the next phase of the trial. If you succeed, you get more rewards, or you lose what you've bet. I think it's the most simple mechanic that will make it into greatly farmable, super replayable, wonderful game that Path of Exile currently is. I do honestly believe, on record, that as far as the replayability and as far as the depth of the game, they went way further than Diablo 3 currently is, and we are yet to see exactly what Diablo 4 turns into. So to wrap it up, my friends, do I think that Diablo 4 is going to be killed by Path of Exile 2? No, I don't think so, because there will always be people, a lot of people, who will keep Diablo franchise alive, regardless of how basic it is compared to some other product, which I don't think it will be. I think Diablo 4 is going to be wonderful, and I'm planning to play both games. That's what I'm planning to play. But right now, as reported to you earlier in the earlier videos, in case you missed those for some reason, I am absolutely enjoying myself in Diablo. But having said that, already rolling an alt, already leveling my wizard as opposed to my barbarian, I am kind of running out of things to do, because the environments, the things that happen in the world of Diablo are not that varied enough for me to stay for a very long time and enjoy it beyond, I don't know, 1 month or something. But Path of Exile Ultimatum League to the rescue, to all of us who want to diversify and still stay within Diablo-esque game. By the way, in case you didn't know, did you know that Path of Exile is completely free? Completely free, don't have to buy it. How can you pass on that? Because I won't be, and I'll be talking to you about this. I'm not an expert, but I played Path of Exile casually for years. So I think it's time to dip the toes back into it, especially now being inspired by this new reveal of Path of Exile 2. I hope you're excited too. Share your thoughts with me in the comments down below. What do you think about Diablo 4? What do you think about what was shown specifically in BlizzCon line earlier this year? And if you think that somehow Diablo footage and whatever was shown blows the Path of Exile 2 out of the water, or other way around, let's continue a healthy, good community conversation that we always have on this channel. And let's again remind ourselves that we need to spend our time wisely and play the games that give us fun, value for our time investment, as opposed to consuming stale content. That's what I will continue advocating for as long as this channel is running. So if there is sufficient amount of interest in this content, I will continue producing videos twice a week, and if not, then I will produce content once a week or something like this, prioritizing my playtime, because so far it's been very healthy for me. This break was wonderful, and I appreciate support from everyone who continues commenting on my videos and talking to me as my members, very valued members and virtual friends of this community. Thanks again. I'll be speaking with you very soon again, in a couple of days time, 2-3 days time. We'll see when that happens. See you later. Bye bye for now.
On the bass like this, like this, like this.